So now that the end of the school year is coming to a close, it's time for us to stop and organize our Google Drive. I know things have been coming 100 miles an hour and we've been creating stuff, but for some of us, there's no rhyme or reason to how we're storing these items. So we're going to share a couple of tips with you to help you get control of your Google Drive. So one of the first things I want to talk about is the view and how you see things in your Google Drive. Right now, my Google Drive is set up in a list view. If I go over here to the right, I can also put this into a grid view. So it's just basically what is easier on your eyes, um, is how you're going to set up your Google Drive. Now, we also want to talk about folders. Folders are a great way to organize your work. And so if you notice, I'm quite a fan of folders. Now, you can create a folder two different ways. I can go right here to the new button and select folder and create a folder, or I can click right here on my drive and also create a folder there as well. So maybe I want to create a folder called distance learning. I'm going to go ahead and select create, and everything here is in alphabetical order. So here's my folder right here. Now, if I wanted to, I could go back and rename this. I like to put numbers in front of my folders for folders that are really important to me that I don't want to have to scroll through and look for in alphabetical order. Simply by placing a number in front, the numbers supersedes the letters, and so this file will stay at the top. So now here is distance learning up here at the top. Now I can also give it a color if I really want it to stand out, and I like to use colors sometimes to categorize different things. So, like for my different campuses, one campus that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, its school colors are green. So, anytime I create a folder for that campus, I like to make it green because it just reminds me that that campus color is green. Now, you can also create folders within folders. So, if I open up this distance learning folder, I could create another folder and I could call this lessons. I could create another folder and call this from admin. So I can organize all of those different items within a folder. And again, if I even open up those folders, I can have subsets of folders within the folder as well. Something to also to help you with things is to when you're creating folders, be consistent with your naming conventions. Even be consistent with how you name your files. So another example of this is if I'm creating a lesson for first graders, I always lead with a 1 at the front of my lesson, so I know that it's a first grade lesson. If it's maybe you teach first grade and you could use SS at the beginning of all your files to designate that it's a social studies folder. Just little tips like that to help you with the organization. And remember, like I showed you a while ago, on any file or any folder, you can always go back and rename if you want to help you with your organization. Now, I'm going to go back to my drive right quick and notice everything here looks really nice and organized. But when I scroll down here to the bottom of when I leave my folder section and go to files, this is where things get a little scary. And if you notice, none of these items have a folder, but they need to find a home. And so this is where I need to work to start to organize my files. And so right here, this is a first grade geometry lesson. I could right click on this item and I'm going to select move to. And now within my drive, I could decide where I want that to go. So if I wanted it to go into distance learning, I could select right there. And then I could even put lessons. And I could even add a folder right here and call this first grade. And then click move here. And so that file automatically would go into my first grade folder. Now I could also just click on the file and move it to my distance learning folder. And now it's put it in that folder, but I would still need to go in there and organize it and put it in the right place. So just another tip that you can use when organizing your folders and everything in your drive. So just to reiterate and to review, Use folders to help you organize your work. Use the color coding system to help you identify files that are really important to you. Be consistent in your naming conventions. And if you have files that you no longer need, delete them. No big deal. Sometimes we hold on to files for a long time thinking if I ever need it, but if you haven't given it an easy naming convention and it's not organized, it may take you longer for you to find that file than for you to just recreate it. So, again, use this time over the next couple of weeks to just organize your drive, clean up things that you no longer need. Okay? As always, thanks for watching.